a thrift store addict. And that means I end up with a lot of random stuff around my house. So today I want to show you some of the stuff I brought home from the thrift store, what I've done with it, what I'm in the process of doing with it, or what I plan to do with it somewhere down the road. So let me show you first my bulletin board. This actually, when I brought it home, it was the world's ugliest picture frame. It had some really interesting detail around the outside edges, but it was this really ugly dark brown stain, and this wasn't very attractive, but I knew it had potential. And it was just an empty frame, and I stuck a bulletin board in it. This was just a cheap bulletin board that I picked up for like $3 at Goodwill that had an aluminum frame on it. I ripped the aluminum frame off. I painted the bulletin board white, and then I Mod Podged a layer of burlap over top of it to give it an interesting texture. And now it's like a totally new piece. I have $6, maybe $7 into it, including the burlap, so really, really inexpensive. Another piece that I brought home that I absolutely love is this ice bucket. This was your standard like 50s, 60s entertaining ice bucket. Like everybody had one in 1952, you know. They were all the rage, and now they're all over the thrift stores because everybody's getting rid of them. This is a really common item, and when I got it, it looked really common. It was boring, but it had good lines. It was good and solid. I knew it had potential again, so I brought it home. I replaced the knob on the top. It had a really boring knob. And to add this really cool texture, I used this stencil from the Mod Podge Rocks line. I stenciled Mod Podge onto it and used some glitter. And then I actually spray painted with this berry pink gloss spray paint over top of the Mod Podge, so you get this interesting texture on it. So something a little different. And then the side handles don't come off. They're permanently attached, so those are the original hardware. So that's what I did with that. $3. $3. All right. What else? These, I don't know how you can see. This was the original color of these sconces when I brought them home. I got them for $3 for the pair, and they were this horrific, like, really cheap, dated-looking gold color, and they were terrible. But they were really pretty other than that. Like, I like all the scrolly bits and the flowers. So this one, you can see I have sprayed it with white primer. So this one is ready for me to paint. And what I'm doing with them is just painting them purple. Made a total difference, and now they look like something chic and modern and cute instead of something that's cheap and dated. I just used this Deco Art patio paint in Petunia Purple. I love the Deco Art paints. Their patio paints especially are really good. They're made for outdoor use, but this is going to hang in a place where it's going to get a lot of sun, and these are fade resistant. So I don't have to worry about this not looking as vibrant in a few years after I hang it in a sunny spot. I'm really happy about those. Another work in progress project is I have 3 of these actually. These were made from, I have 3 different candlesticks that I bought. They're all 3 different heights, and 3 saucers, like just out of the dishes section. They were mismatched, all of them, and so to make them match, after I glued the saucers to the tops of all of the candlesticks, I just sprayed them again. This time I used this key lime spray paint, and then I decided they needed a little more detail, so you can see on each of them I added some rhinestones. Now those are just these David Tutera sparkle, these shimmer sheets. They're from his wedding line. They come in a whole ton of different colors because they're made for weddings, so they're in all the popular colors that you might do in a wedding. It's just one big sheet of like glittery rhinestoniness, and you just cut out in between, you just cut it into strips, whatever size you need. And so I just stuck those on there. And then I'm going to finish it off. I found these at Dollar Tree. So I picked up 3 of these for $1 a piece, and I'm painting them a pretty blue color to make them match my rhinestones. With that is just the Americana Crystal Gloss Enamel and Turquoise from DecoArt. I love their glass paints too. They work really, really well. And so you can see when they're done, I'm going to put the grouping of 3 of them together on my dining room table. I'm not sure yet if I'm going to put candles in them or some candy or what I'm going to do with them, but I really, really like the way they're turning out so far. So I've got the 3 of those. And I've got, this was a bargain. This awesome wooden basket was 50 cents at a yard sale, and I had to have it. It came with, it had like some silk flowers that were like twist tied to it. They were kind of ugly on the basket, but I took them off and I used them for another project. Now the basket, I've been really wanting to try using fabric dye on wood, so I think I'm going to do a dip dye ombre with this. So what I'm going to do is start out, submerge the entire thing in dye. Then as I wait, I'm going to slowly lift it by the handle. So the top will be in for just a very limited exposure, and by the time it gets to the bottom, it'll have been in the dye for longer, so as it goes down, it'll get darker. So I'm not sure yet how that's going to turn out because I've not tried anything like that yet, but in theory, I think it'll be pretty cool. And let's see here. Then I've also got, these were such a score. I was really excited. I got a set of these 3 canisters. They're like the kind of things that you put on your counter with like coffee and sugar or whatever. Got 3 different ones. There's the small one, the medium one, and then this big one here. They've got these wooden lids that come off, and then they've got inside, they have these plastic liners that slide out so you can clean them, which I thought was really, really awesome. So these by themselves were really, really cool. But I want to make them even cooler. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint them. I'm going to use the same paint colors that I used on the frame of my bulletin board because I really like how that combination came out. These are going in the same room as them, as the bulletin board when I'm done, so it'll tie it all together nice and cohesive. And that is with this Americana Decor Chalky Finish paint from DecoArt in the colors Vintage and Escape. The Vintage is sort of like a greeny, that's this pretty greeny blue here, and then you can kind of see, I don't know how well you can see in the video, there's a layer of this darker blue underneath that I distressed, that so there's like just little bits of the blue that stick out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint these containers in this lighter greeny color, and then over top I am going to stencil. I have 3 different size. There's the small fleur-de-lis, and the medium, and the large. So I have 3 sizes of stencil, so it'll work out perfect that I can do one on each of my 3 different sizes of canisters. And then I'm going to very lightly go over that with sandpaper and distress the stencil so that it looks like it's something that's been on there for like a million years. Well, maybe not that long. Maybe like 50, 60, I don't know. It'll look old either way. So that's what I'm going to do with those. And I'm sure that I will have a gazillion other thrift store projects coming up because I'm always finding something amazing every time I go. I'm sort of addicted, and I stop like once a week, twice a week sometimes. So it's a sickness, I know. So I will be back to show you the finished product and all the stuff that I'm not done with yet. And I'm sure I'll be finding more stuff, so I'll be sharing more ideas with you guys. So thanks for stopping by. If you found anything amazing at your local thrift store, leave me a comment. Tell me what you found and what you're doing with it because I love thrift store makeovers. And we'll see you soon. Thanks for stopping by.